Hey, what's up? We back with another episode of 4-1 Uncut. Today, we got the homie, very special guest, Dash Gwoppo in the building. What's up with my homie, man?
What's happening? Finally made it.
Hey, finally. Look, you said that the first time we got on live. You said, I've been waiting on my phone.
I've been waiting on it.
How you been?
I'm great. How you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Glad to have you on the couch. We did this on live, but to have you on the couch now, it's super dope. So look, Dash, before we get into all the good stuff you got going on, we got to let the people know, what part of Cincinnati are you from?
I'm from Avondale, man, the heart of the city. You know, man, it's like smack dead in the middle, so, you know, but Carpenter now to be specific, Carpenter Place, you know what I mean, if you want to be specific, right off Rand Road, corner of Alameda, you know what I mean, run off of Harvey.
Hey.
Just in case you needed to know how to get there. You know what I mean?
Specifics, give them directions.
Specifics.
So
free Remo, free Remo, free Remo, free Remo, free Remo.
Growing up in Avondale?
It's like, it was weird. I ain't gonna say it was weird, but it looked residential. So when you're young, you kind of think like, you know what I mean, until you start exploring. I moved there when I was like 4 years old. So when we moved there, I started just maneuvering, real young, meeting friends, going to school. I went to Rockdale Elementary, so we used to walk to school. And then, you know, you just start seeing things. You start seeing violence, you start seeing drug dealing, you start seeing a lot of things. And it took me a minute to, like, really get into it because I wasn't, I mean, I wasn't super knowledgeable. But, you know, after that, once you in it, you in it. I always say, like, that when they be asking me, like, how you get into this, how you start doing that, my mama moved to the wrong neighborhood.
Man, did your mom kind of ever tried to stop you from getting involved? Yeah,
but you only could do so much. You know, my pops was doing like 15 years in prison, so he trying to coach me from a cell. Then me and my step-pops was kind of clashing a lot, and he ain't really want to overstep, but he did the best he could. And you know, my mama, she did the best she could. She raised me right. I can't say it ain't her fault at all. So, Ma, if you watching this, it ain't your fault. It chose me.
Man, so how old you say you was when you kind of like jumped off the porch and really got out there and start learning what Avondale was really about and what it had to offer?
Probably like just running around. I'll never forget, I was like 10 years old, and my mama used to like want us in before it got dark. So one time, like me, my little brother Scrap, Tim, we outside. I'm like, man, I ain't going in the house, bro. She about to go to work. I ain't going. Just so happened, she ain't go to work. So when we come in, I'm like, oh, man. But after I got like that little whooping and all that, and seen that was all it was, I'm outside.
So that wasn't enough for you.
That wasn't enough. But I wasn't really into nothing crazy, though, just like being outside, like hanging in the park. R.I.P. Kel, and that was like one of my best friends at the time. We was young. He was in the mischief, so. You know what I mean? And then, you know, just hanging around. I always had my two little brothers, so it was like always us. And my family called us the tribe. It's just always us together. Then when we got older, we started kind of branching out for everybody learning their own thing, taking their own way.
Man, for sure. And back then, growing up in Cincinnati, it's very segregated, like neighborhood-wise. Like, I remember Avondale and Bond Hill having such a beef back then as well. It really wasn't safe. Tell me about that experience for you being from Avondale.
They want to say I couldn't. I think I went to Woodward for like one day. My mama took me out of that school, but it's just like that be inherited. You know what I mean? It don't really like the beef really be inherited from generation before you. So you just already standing on it, because like now, how our city is, it's way more love than what it used to be. Like I migrate with people from out that way, and West Side and just wherever, like, because it be more about a respect issue. But when you being taught something so long, like we don't fuck with them, you just automatically inherit it, and then you just don't, you know what I mean? You just kind of, you stay around your surroundings. I mean, but it just, only thing with ours is, it's so small, but we move like a big city. Right. So it ain't like a Detroit or a Chicago where you could be all the way on the east or all the way on the west. Everybody 15 minutes away from each other. You're going to bump into somebody. And it's like, you ain't really moving out far and all that. Like when you're in the inner city, everybody ain't got it to move around and go these certain places. So.
Right. Yeah. So tell me, I'm pretty sure you said like RIP to a few people while you've been talking. Right. How many friends you think you lost like growing up?
We lost a lot of friends. It's a lot to name because I ain't even really understand what we was losing back then. It became kind of normal that at that age, 17, 16, 15, 14, people dying. People dying in car wrecks from high-speed chases, people getting murdered, people going on missions and, doing certain things, and they dying, and you knowing, like, people be dying. But I think the first experience for me was when Matt died. And that was just like damn, our friends dying. Like, we going to funerals, you know what I mean? And like, a lot of people know me, so I'm good with a lot of people in different places. Like, so North Side, just like I T Streets and Mike's, and just like, it's a lot of people. I couldn't even name everybody, you know what I mean? But it was like more so my friends, real close friends dying, and then me feeling they pain, like, damn, he hurting. Even though I'm cordial with all these people and all these guys, but it was just like, it was normal though. It's normal.
Man. And too, being young in Cincinnati at that time, I'm like, a lot of young guys was experiencing going to other neighborhoods. You trying to go to another neighborhood, walking through, you might get robbed, jumped, beat up, anything because
you couldn't do that, but we already like had our demonstration. Like, niggas like Fat Wooder already taught me, like, bro, don't get caught out of bounds. Like, they told me, like, if it happened to me, somebody close did it. Cause we ain't going out of bounds. I ain't going to y'all stores. We only going where we going. But I migrated a lot cause my mama used to move. So I done lived downtown. I done lived on the west side. I done lived in Wind Terrace. I done lived in all these places damn near everywhere. So it was like, I knew so many people. Like, and a lot of my beefs be inherited. Like, cause I'm gonna pick a side with my guys and my family. But at the end of the day, they was standing on business, so I'm with them naturally. Like,
and now with being an artist, how does that work? Because like you said, nowadays, this is back then, that's
because we was kids.
Yeah, but now it's different.
Now we grown men.
Where you can move around
more
if you want to.
I mean, I ain't gonna say that though. Like, you could just do it. You gotta still know who you know to be able to move around. I think now it's just we starting to understand that we got a big music scene, so if we kind of blend and everybody maneuver and move kind of not all the way together, but at least with cordial respect, then it'd be easier to step. Cause like it ain't really a city thing. It's like, cause you ain't gonna make it out that way. It's more, we from Cincinnati, let's show them what's here. Even if we got disagreements, or like, it's people that I done had issues with in the past who now we cordial. They tell me keep going. I tell them shit, keep going. Right. But we grown now, so it's like you think back then, what it was really over. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So tell me, like, through all this growing up in Avondale, when did music become part of your life for real?
It's so crazy. Music been part of my life so long. Like, my friends tell you, like, I've been rapping, like, on the block, listen to this, going to the studio. That kind of what really kept me safe and out of a lot of bullshit for real. So just like, and I be hating to sound cliche and say like all my life, so, but like probably 10, 12, I was a part of like a group. I really ain't take music serious back then. I just was doing it cause I could do it and I knew I had the talent to do it, but my bros was kind of like doing it. So
yeah, because you was part of Gwopp Boyz, and Gwopp Boyz is really like had a
this my second run. I always tell people like this my second run. I just stuck with it.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of me. And that's why my name Dash Gwoppo, because we had that run and that's dear to me, despite whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I had record deals on the table.
Yeah.
With Gwopp Boyz, features with Gucci Mane, all type of stuff was really going on. And y'all were young at the time. What was that like for you? Like, was y'all grasping it at that time?
Man, I wish I could make a call, but I ain't gonna do it. I called my mama when we had to fly to New York. And I called my mama, like, man, you could damn near quit your job. I thought it was that for sure.
Yeah.
So that let you know where my mind was at with it. Like, damn, I'm really about to make it out the hood. And then, it don't always go as planned. I could have gave up, I could have quit, but I'm like, maybe that just wasn't meant.
What ended up happening to where the Gwopp Boyz, where y'all went separate ways per se?
Nah, it's just like over time, jail, people doing other things, years passing, like it just people outgrow each other. It ain't like no issues or nothing. Like it's just like people outgrow each other, and it be sometimes it just be written that way, and then you know it's almost like like when you don't be super close with your family, but they still your family. You know what I mean? But
they still live there.
Yeah, ain't nothing happened. It just was like you just outgrow each other. I did a long time in prison. Other people went to prison. Man, it just wasn't. Sometimes the world dissected. You know what I mean? Like the universe is dissected. Like, all right, you need to be over here. You got to go through this. You got to learn this. You can't learn everything together.
Yeah. Cause how long was you locked up for?
I did 6 years.
And what happened that led you to getting locked up?
Trafficking, hustling. I mean, that's how. It's regular, like with everybody. I don't be like, when I be venting or reminiscing about that through my music or whatever, I ain't glorifying it. I'm just saying this what happened to me. You know what I mean? So, but definitely, you know, just moving a certain way that I shouldn't have been moving, and end up getting jammed up.
Man. So while you was locked up, was you really like, when I get home, I'm gonna go hard on the music? Because it seemed like as soon as you came home, I'm talking about features, you signed, like it kind of, you went in. Was that the goal?
Yeah, that was the goal. The goal was music. I ain't know how. Like everything that happened when I came home happened organic though. Like I ain't gonna say I planned that, but anybody who was in prison with me will tell you like, dude was focused on his craft. I'm ordering books. I need to know about the music business, how you do this. I'm learning about clearances and features, and just like I'm learning about a lot of stuff so I could be knowledgeable about it, 'cause I'm serious. But what led me to do it, what led me to just get super serious, I was already writing, but I wasn't making like my best music because I'm in prison, so my brain ain't really functioning how it would when you out in the world experiencing things again. So I had wrote Remo, just like, I mean, just explaining to him, like, I understand kind of like what you meant. Like, sending money ain't really all it is, because I was a victim of that, just like, send money. I seen your baby mama, I gave her a couple hundred. Like, I ain't really understand what prison meant. And this is my best friend, he got life in prison. So when he got that, I ain't really understand it. But when I went to prison, I understood it. And I wrote him a letter. And he was shocked for real that I was writing. Like, I mean, he wrote me back and was like, bro, I thought you would be rich somewhere off rap, living your dreams. And at that moment, I'm like, if he see the talent in me like that, to think that, I gotta see it in myself. So I just started working on my craft, like doing shows in prison, just like gearing up, like trying to see if I mean, there's so many people just telling me like, bro, you got it, you can command the crowd, you could perform, you could do this.
Wow.
And it just grew me to like, when I come home, I'm going hard.
Man.
Going hard. So
where were you locked up at?
I did 2 years at Lebanon, and then I did I did 3.5 years at London, and then I went to the halfway house for 6 months.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the people that was supporting you and telling you to keep going while you was locked up?
I mean, my uncle had 11 years. He got a year left. My little brother just came home for 5.5. Remo's still there. A lot of people still check on me. I still shoot back. You know what I mean? I just had to come home and focus on me. But I got pictures, everything out through the joint. They seeing it. They living through me. Like, damn, bro did that. Bro did this. Like, cause it was exciting to me. I've been in like 33 states in like 3 years.
You came home and